Hello, friends. Robert Bevan here, author of the Caverns and Creatures series of comedy, fantasy novels, and short stories. With me is Sam West, and today we're talking about the spell Zephyr Strike.
What?
Yeah. This, reading the description, I was reminded of the video we did on, I think it was Warding Wind, where it just does a bunch of random stuff, except the difference for me with Zephyr Strike is the random stuff that it doesn't all feel like garbage, and they're all kind of cool and can all conceivably be used, together for better effects.
I basically agree. Yeah.
Mhm.
Zephyr Strike is a bonus action ranger spell for first level, which is
Those
on
are
its
all
own.
good words.
Yeah, that's very notable. All of those things check the boxes that I want a ranger spell to check. It's first level. It takes a bonus action. Now it has a word I don't like. That's concentration. It does take your concentration up for up to a minute, but fine, whatever. You move like the wind. For the duration, you don't provoke opportunity attacks. That means concentration is easier to maintain, which is neat. Once before the spell ends, you can get advantage on an attack roll. That attack deals a bonus d8 damage on hit. And then, whether you hit or miss, your speed increases by 30 feet until the end of turn. So basically, the spell gives you immunity to opportunity attacks for a minute. So you can play a skirmisher ranger now without actually dying. And you get this neat once bonus smite-like effect.
Yeah.
This looks innocuous. I'm convinced this is the only reason you can play a melee ranger and have any amount of success. This spell alone. It is...
Well, this isn't specific to melee, right?
No, but
Okay.
You're not using this if you're not in melee range.
No?
Because you need to care about all of those elements, and all those elements basically say, I want you to be attacking things in melee range.
Okay.
Because so if you're a ranged ranger with a longbow with 120 feet range, when are you ever going to get attack of opportunity provoked against you?
Oh, yeah, that's true.
When are you ever going to need a free dash?
Yeah.
Probably not. This spell is really nifty. I think that more spells like this should be like the new standard for what a smite spell gives you, which is a passive effect if it's going to eat your concentration, and a meaningful one at that. And no attack of opportunities is a meaningful passive effect. It means you can take greatsword, charge into the thick of things, hit somebody, and then be like, I'm out. No problem whatsoever. It means you can easily cross a battlefield to get to a backline target with no real issue. Like this will often look like you engage with a greatsword, you hit a skeleton or whatever, you then use that movement to get 60 feet to the back line because it doubles your move speed for the turn functionally, giving you a 60-foot movement past that. You take no attack opportunities going through however many lieutenants are there, and then you're on top of the necromancer. That is a meaningful way to engage with a first level spell set that only took your bonus action. You can do all of that the turn you cast this. That's pretty good. In the upper tiers, when you're getting multi-attacks, you can even do it as I attack once, I get my advantage, I get my bonus d8, then I move, and then I attack again to hit the backline target. That's pretty nifty. That gives you this little infiltrator skirmisher fantasy feeling in a meaningfully powerful way because it gives you the mobility, because it gives you the tool to get there without dying because you don't take up an attack opportunity, and because it gives you a little bit of extra damage and a little bit of extra good hit. And you need those things as a ranger who cares about all of them to function and feel good.
Yeah, that feels good about a first level spell. I have a little bit of confusion with that last line of text. Let me go through it. It says, whether you hit or miss, your walking speed increases by 30 until the end of that turn.
Yep.
Why? I mean, whether you hit or miss sounds like the spell is expecting that I would think that matters. Why?
So
What am I missing here?
Once before the spell ends, you can get an advantage on attack roll.
Okay.
When you make that choice, regardless of the outcome of the attack roll, that is when you get the 30 feet until end of turn. That's when you get the bonus speed. So whenever you choose to make the attack with advantage, that is whenever your speed is boosted.
Okay. I was just confused.
It sort of lumps all those features together. I would really prefer it if it did just say, once during the duration, you get 30 extra speed till end of turn. Once during the duration, you get advantage on attack roll and bonus d8 damage. I would much prefer that just be listed out because then you have more flexibility, and I'm all about more flexibility, especially on skirmisher characters whose whole fantasy involves hitting priority targets that are around the map in different ways. This is going to pair really well with Battlemaster Fighter, actually. So this is a really good multi-class option to think about if you're trying to play a fighter that's looking to trip up and do a lot of the trickiness in combat. So you go like 3 Ranger, 5 Fighter kind of deal. Outside of multi-class, though, just going straight down Ranger, you can probably do some Horde Breaker stuff with it where you're rewarded for attacking multiple creatures in the Hunter option. You could even work with an Animal Companion to do some proning nonsense, getting creatures dropping on multiple spots around the map at a different point in time. You can do some neat things. With a Gloomstalker Ranger, you're going to be able to go wherever you want, whenever you want. It's going to be really fun. Same with the Far Wanderer. I think that's what it's called. Horizon Walker, sorry. They're the Portal-y Ranger, Fade, Wild stuff. You're going to be able to do some cool mobility builds with this. Now, I will say this. None of this is game-breaking. We're not anywhere close to even, like, the good fighter builds or the good rogue builds, right? Like, and rogue isn't a particularly, like, busted class in the top tiers of power. This Skirmisher Fantasy is not particularly powerful. It is very fun. And I'll express quickly, it's not particularly powerful because D&D combat, typically you want to race down their actions, and then you do that by focusing one creature. And skirmishing and hitting one creature, and moving to hit another creature, and moving to hit another creature is not all that advantageous most of the time. Maybe you're setting up a fireball, maybe there's some other niche instance, but most of the time you want to be hitting one thing over and over again. You don't necessarily need moving in and out of combat, but if you want to not take any damage, if you want to be the I hit and run to the woods, guerrilla style warfare, slinging scimitars, longbow shots from a distance whenever it's safe, play that kind of fantasy, this delivers on that, and this gives you a reason to want to do it. That's good. I'm glad that exists.
What other good first level Ranger spells are we looking at? Because we know Rangers don't get a whole lot of amazing spells, but what are we competing with here?
Hunter's Mark is a big one. Yeah. This notably also competes with your concentration effect for the Hunter's Mark equivalent that exists that we talked about in the Hunter's Mark video. Go watch that. This also, it doesn't directly compete with Conjure Volley because normally you're going to use them in different circumstances. This is a spell that doesn't have a lot of star competition as far as like melee ranger options go, and Snaring Strike kind of fits that, but Ensnaring Strike's a little bit awkward. No, pardon. In that, like, you Ensnaring Strike somebody, they're grappled, if memory serves. I'm pulling it up right now. Yeah, they're restrained by the vines, which means like they still get the attack opportunity if you decide to leave. So it's not like amazing there, and it still eats your concentration, which isn't great, and does a bonus D6 damage. So that's like Ensnaring Strike, I think, is the closest to this. Ensnaring Strike is you don't necessarily the restraint condition is sometimes decent. I think more often than not, if you want to play the fantasy of the Zephyr Strike's offering, you very clearly took it for that reason, and you don't necessarily care about specifically the utility of it. It also really helps that this is the kind of option for a character that wants to hybrid, that is like, yeah, I'm fine taking a scimitar and longbow. I'd like to do both. I'd like to have the option to shoot my longbow whenever, I need to, and then find some compelling reason. Maybe you're or two-weapon fighting, use Zephyr Strike, get in there and cut, right? There are neat things to do with it. It's not that practical, but it also is a really low cost. And the really low cost for what it gives you, I'm pretty happy with it.
Yeah, you're talking about you're normally preferring to hit one thing over and over again rather than multiple targets. But I mean, this is first level spell. You're fighting first level baddies, or you're
That's
fighting.
A great point.
Yeah, you might be able to just take one shot them and move on. That's exciting.
It even might be the kind of thing, right, where like you get to the goblin medic, you get to the goblin witch or whatever, you kill it, it's next to a bugbear, and you go, I don't want to deal with that problem right now. See ya. And that's a nifty little thing it does. That is the reward for the skirmisher fantasy, right? I'm a big fan of that. This also, like, there's a feature in the Hunter subclass for Ranger called Horde Breaker, where it's on each of your turns, whenever you make a weapon attack, you can make another one against a creature within 5 feet of it. So that encourages you to divvy up your damage anyway. And then you can be somewhat encouraged to be running around all over the place and be like, okay, I'll attack you, get this free attack, move, and no longer be in range of both of you punishing me, and now you have to deal with the Paladin or Barbarian or whoever else is in the way. You can mitigate some of your incoming damage. You can use your health pool in some interesting ways. Lots of interesting decisions to make. Are they meaningful? That is a different question. The answer is often no. But it can still be a fun, rewarding fantasy. There'll be some times where, like you just described, you'll be running around killing a bunch of low CR things. Even in the upper tiers, the move probably is going to start mattering a little bit more. The advantage of the attack roll is going to feel good. Bonus D8 damage can crit. So, like, sometimes you'll get a lucky crit and do a bonus 2d8, and that'll feel pretty fine. It's nowhere close to a Divine Smite still. But, not everything can be. And this gives you enough other extra things that I think it's easily comparable to Divine Smite. And if we're comparing something to Divine Smite, it's a good feature. So.
Yeah, I like this one. This one it feels like, like I said, a lot of fun. It would take some getting used to, but I think once a player gets a feel for it, gets a handle on what they can do with it and how to use it, I'm a little bit more optimistic about how effective it could be than you seem to be. But yeah.
It boils down often to what's going to be like advantage on attack roll with a bonus D8 and a bonus action dash. Because oftentimes the opportunity attacks, and those are all contingent on you having a thing to hit. So, like, there are going to be some times where I think it is hard. I think you are giving it too much credit to saying it's very easy to use and you'll find a clear play pattern with it. Needing to make the attack to get the move speed is a little bit awkward. It means you kind of want to shoot to then engage, which is not necessarily, those things don't normally go together. Normally that means you're losing out on like your archery fighting style or something, like you're not getting all of the value out of your build. There'll be a lot of moments where you'll be like, I don't give the tiniest of shits that I am not able to taking attack opportunities right now. That is non-text, and I'm casting this as a D8 extra damage and an advantage on attack roll. That's a bonus action. That's a pretty fine deal. Like, I don't hate that. That'll feel like a superiority die, and that's fine. Rangers could afford that. They're like, yeah, sure, I hit for slightly more damage. That's not bad. That it is a floor is a great place to be. I'm not over the moon about it. This isn't Hunter's Mark. This isn't a bonus D6. This isn't play pattern defining, but it can be something you can incorporate in your play pattern in a fun way.
Yeah. All right. We got a rating?
This is a 3. I think this is a great spell.
3?
I'm glad it exists. It's not breaking the game in half. It's a neat supplement to Rangers that want to play this fantasy.
Yeah, I'm not, gung-ho about it. I think 3 is about right. That's fair. All right. That was Zephyr Strike.
It's a cool one. I'm glad that's what I want more Ranger spells like this.
Yeah. All right. And I could see this being, Rangers aren't the only ones that could be skirmishers, but
I think rogues would love this.
Yeah.
Because then you can use your bonus action dash to go up to so you have a 60-foot move speed, right? So you have bonus action dash to go an extra 120 feet in a turn if you really wanted to. That seems sweet. Yeah, monks would love this too.
Running out of the shadows like, I don't know, Batman or something.
Yeah.
Ah, cool. But alas, it's for Rangers.
Ranger only. Yeah. Can't even take it with Magic Initiate.
All right. That was Zephyr Strike. Thank you, Sam. And thank you, everyone, for joining us. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye. Thank you for watching. If you found this helpful, informative, or entertaining, I'd really appreciate it if you hit the like button below. You needn't smash it. A gentle tap will suffice. If you want to see more videos like this, subscribe to the channel. And make sure you check out the links in the description, where you'll find my Caverns Creatures series of comedy fantasy novels, Sam's full review of the spell, and other fun things.